Good morning, everybody. It's very bright this time of the morning on this side of my house. I gotta put up some window covering so that it doesn't look weird. Okay, we did it. We got our developer live update today. I'm pretty excited about it. Good morning, pizza. Morning, Penny. Thank you for the follow, Windy and Nick. Welcome in. Hey, Darth. Hey, Crazy. Okay. From Greece. Hello, how's it going? Yep, that's right, mister. I'm very excited for season 14. 2, 7, oops, 8 a.m. Good morning, Iron. Hey, Gim. Okay. Fourth day in a row. Let's go. Kwamo, welcome in. Thanks for the follow also. Yes, Barba is going to be good. That says Treasure Breach, Nightmare Dungeon starting, not um dev update in. I am ready. There we go. Okay, timer's up on the screen now. Play. And it met a lot of nice people. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad that the Discord server has been great for you. Hey, Smoother? They always take feedback from the PTR. But appropriately is relative to the player. Thank you for the 5 months in a row. Let's go. Yeah, no problem, JT. No, Immortal's gone, but you can still use Selig. But Immortal is gone, which is fine. It needed to go. It was very fun, but was good to go. Now we have mods on Discord. They handle everything. And they do a great job at doing it. Okay. No name. How's it going? Okay. Hey, Anger. Maybe I should move this here. That will. don't know if that'll work. Yeah, but it would also deal with a lot of different cultures and a lot of different nationalities, and there's a lot of people in Discord, so it's not an easy thing to manage what one person perceives as being normal and just part of their everyday life is not the same for everybody else. So it's a tough thing to manage, but we do moderate it pretty heavily. Recently got back into Diablo. The videos have been helped caught up and played nonstop. Let's go. Welcome back, Mike. I didn't get gem strength either, Scuba. I don't think so, Hex. I liked the games being different. Like, if I wanted to play, like, D2, I could go play D2. If I want to play D4, I can play D4. I don't mind things not coming back. We don't know yet, Ren. We won't know until we get the patch notes. Been doing the Whirlwind build. I can't keep Fury up. Inside of the planner, at the very bottom, there's a Fury management section. They're in every planner. Okay. Just gonna work on some planners until the live stream starts. Notes are up. All right, let's go take a look. All right. Oh, let's check out the gameplay first.
Brothers and sisters, to live is to suffer. Brothers and sisters, we search for release from anguish and pain. We search for release. There is but one true release. Only in death will we find salvation. Will we find to live in sanctuary is to live in torment. To live in sanctuary is to live in torment. We mortals know this well. We mortals know this well.
I was like, wait a second, right there. And that's a little better. Thanks, dear.
When the gates of our eternal home open, heed the call and enter. Try as you might, you cannot fight against it. Arise! Arise and give praise to the end. In ascension, seek your reward.
Oh, that was cool. new collab. Guarantee you the Barbarians.
For there are those that would hinder our path. But take heart. The one we call out to has heard our cries and answers with prejudice. For death is salvation, and we shall welcome it.
This looks good. Okay, I'm excited about that. All right. Oops. Let's see what we got. Okay. My brain was hurting too. I couldn't figure out what was going on. All right. I didn't play the druid. So, first thing that they've changed, we reduced the time it takes to close within a rupture. The new tiers appear more quickly. In addition, we've reduced the mob density and elite spawning on normal difficulty. This was overtuned for early leveling in the PTR. You also will earn Pandemonium Fragments from sealing ruptures. That's good. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what it said. 25th. Oh, well, actually, it gives us the date. Oh, look, the start time's an hour later. So June 30th is when it's going live at 11 a.m. PT. That is when the launch of the new season is going to be. And then early downloads will be on the 25th. Okay. So we're now getting superior lair keys instead of Betrayer's Husks. So you're going to need those for the new boss. So we get superior lair keys. Okay, so you can start crafting mythics at level 70 with... Okay, we knew that. Okay, so we heard your input for the following changes. Players who put uniques for a specific slot will get back a random class usable mythic unique for the same slot. Putting in a pair of unique boots will return a pair of mythic unique boots. That's a really good change. That was 100% necessary. Mirroring the way the alternate method handles from these conversions from the jeweler. So one-handed weapons, offhand shields are in the same category slot. Okay. Yep, notes are out. No, Belial is greater, or is the same one. No, thank you for the follow. Okay, so this is a really good change. It was just armor. So if you put a pair of gloves in and converted it, those gloves could become a chest piece or a helmet or anything, like a huge, huge range. So now you put gloves in, you get gloves back, which is much, much better. So that's really good. Iconic Mythic Affix change. Iconic Myth is such so must have game build. All right, so all unique item changes. Okay, so they're calling these iconic mythics, which is the new ones. You can't craft them at the jeweler, which I saw, and I showed that on the thing. And then you can still make iconic mythics at the blacksmith, which I did that on the PTR also, so I posted that as well. Okay, so the feedback on this is what I think everybody's been waiting for. Um, we heard the feedback from all the players that felt that reducing the guaranteed affix diluted the identity of uniques, and that the predictability of these items was a stabilizing element to many of the concepts. As a result, all uniques, mythic uniques, and iconic uniques will have 2 guaranteed affixes, preventing them from what distinctive while opening new possibilities of build diversity. You'll find a list of the unique affixes in the patch notes. Okay, so I'll go take a look at that at the very bottom. There. Okay. Crafting, upgrade, function. No GAs guaranteed, just affixes. How to queue following updates. Unique. Okay, so unique, mythic, unique, and iconic unique items will be able to have one undesirable affix re-rolled with enchanting. So then, do we have an update? Oh wait, no, hold on. It was chaotic, right? Chaotic. Wait. Focused? No. Focused. That's it. I thought. So can we still re-roll in the queue? Graphic changes. Hey, garden. Going through the patch notes. Oh wait, this is good. Yeah. Okay. In addition, while affixes were in addition, while affixes were maxed, those added through enchanting transfigurations or not. This is not in the spirit of mythics, and we want okay, so it looks like we'll be able to get max aspects or affixes when we re-roll at the enchanter. There's just other ways of applying vulnerable damage, Angry. No, Barb did not get deleted. Barbarian came out of the public. I haven't gone through the patch notes yet, but came out of the public test realm as one of the as basically the strongest class in the game. Why can't I find that? Where was that at? No. Which part? I don't know why it's not popping up. All unique item changes, however. Is it maybe down the bottom? Maybe it's in the patch notes. Oh, here we go. I just had the wrong ones open. It wasn't in the blog post. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, so looks like Korean item same gear slot. Okay. You no, they took away um they took away a little bit of the customization and that you can use for uniques. So the uniques, mythic uniques, and iconics can now have their affixes altered at the via enchanting. So you can go to the enchanter and change one affix. Added affixes from enchanting, transfiguration, and tempering are always going to be max rolled when using to mythic unique. So that's really good. Chaotic focus reroll transfiguration has been removed from mythic unique, so you can't use the cube on mythics at all. So that means that you're going to be stuck with an affix. If it's a bad affix, you can't change it no matter what. So if you have two good ones and two bad ones, you can't fix those because they removed it. The upgrade to mythic uniques, we talked about that, creates the same gear slot. The upgrade cannot be used. Mythic cannot be used. Okay, so this was done on the public test realm. You can't do it apparently now, which means that you get one shot at upgrading uniques. On the test realm, we would just click the upgrade to unique button on every single unique that we wanted, and it would just keep on re-rolling until we finally got the one that we wanted. But it looks like we can't do that. Okay, are you ready? I'm scared. Honestly, I'm pretty scared about this part. This is going to be all of the fixed affixes. So Ahavarian, nobody really ever uses that. Weapon damage, lucky hit. Andariel's is poison resistance and primary core stat. Not bad. Azarath is weapon damage, max life. Oh no, that already makes me nervous. That already makes me nervous, but also that right there, that one little change, I believe kills the freeze whirlwind barb. We'll have to see if it can be done with max life, but that takes a big chunk out of the whirlwind barb for freezing only, nothing else. Hey, Muns. Banished Lords, primary core stats, crit damage multiplier. That's good. That's good. Primary core stat. Lucian core stats, resource cost reduction. That's an odd choice. Why increase the resources and then reduce the resources? I mean, you can re-roll that off if you want to. These are guaranteed, always. This was the compromise that they did with people because people wanted everything to be guaranteed. So this is the compromise. Look at this. Endurant Faith, your primary is max life. So you can't use the gloves with Selig. Only the charm. Primary core stat's good, though. I'm so scared to see Ramalani. I'm so scared to see it. I don't want to look. Core skill, lucky hit chance, that's good. Flicker step. Frostburn, primary core stat, lucky hit chance. Armor, core stats. A lot of core stats. Harlequin's Crest now has primary core stats and max life guaranteed. Air of Perdition is movement speed and core stats. Lochran's core stats, critical strike damage multiplier. Selig, resource generation, and core stats. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, we watched it, Sully. Hey, Krabby. Thanks for the follow, Old Dread. Okay, so Mother's Embrace, core stat, Pain Gorgers, attack speed, primary core stats. Good. That's safe. That one's safe. Core stats, multiplier. Lots of primary core stats through this. Starless Sky, core stats, attack speed. That's good. Oh no, all of the weapons have weapon damage on it. Oh no. They didn't gut the game. The game's just fine. The game's just fine. See weapon damage on shard. That makes sense though. This is good. This is very good actually. This is good. Weapon damage, that's good too. Shroud of False Death. It's probably not going to be used anyway. They didn't add max life to Pelgon. That's okay. Weapon damage is bad for the barbarians on specific weapons because if you don't use those weapons, you don't get weapon damage that doesn't matter at all. Nah, that's not how it goes, Odin. Not at all. So Soul Brand, primary core stats and armor, core stats, resistances, temerity, butcher's cleavers, weapon damage. Yeah, it's gonna have weapon damage. They didn't put max life on the grandfather. Oh, okay. We're safe. We're safe. Weapon damage, we're gonna have to just re-roll it, but that means that you have to have 3 good stats on the grandfather to drop. If you don't get 3 of them, then you leave weapon. Then you're gonna have to leave weapon damage on there. Well, you're gonna have to get 2 stats. So the 2 random ones are gonna have to be really good. Core stats to Bolt's Will. To Bolt's Will has max life. No. Oh no, that's bad. That's okay. I can always re-roll it off if we need to. All right, D nice, let's go. Let me add that on. No, you can re-roll fixed affixes. So it's okay. It's just it's okay. Yeah, the patch notes are out. So you can re-roll the fixed affixes. It's not like you have to you're stuck with them. Yeah, no problem, D nice. I appreciate it. Okay, and then Tyrael's Might is core stats. And, oh, you got core stats on Tyrael's Might. Interesting. Word skin. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Barbarian time. 100,000 steps. Ranks of ground stomp, primary core stats. Interesting. Core stats. Huh. Wait, are they talking? Okay. For some reason in my head, this was core skills and not main stat. I don't know why I was going down that road, but this is going to be strength. So strength and ranks to ground stomp. Weapon damage, all damage multipliers. That's fine, except area it's bearing. Primary, so strength and armor. Strength and physical. Battle trance, strength and ranks to frenzy. Strength and ranks to brawling skills. Ranks to all skills. Attack speed, interesting. That's good. Field of Crimson, yeah, it's gonna have it on it. Captain Peters, welcome in. Thanks for that. Hellhammer, yeah, they're all gonna have just weapon damage on it. Hooves has Fury per second. Okay, that's good. Why? Did they change earthquakes around how it works? I don't understand how these work. They had ranks to Dust Devil skills, but then like, but it didn't increase Whirlwind. So then what does Earthquake skills do? And they killed Earthquakes also. Skoner, welcome in. Very interested to see if they changed that around. Rage of Harrigath. That's fine. Probably not necessary. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Okay. All right. Okay. I didn't have any faith, but I'm back on board. Okay. That's fine. We'll just reroll weapon damage. So I was actually testing. I think I can make Earthquakes work with Ground Stomp in season 14. But we're gonna see it. This is just going to be going over season 14. Eric, the campfire chat. If you just go to Diablo4.com and then you just go to news, it'll be the patch notes should be there. Okay. And then Ring of Red Fury is good. Saber cooldown reduction. Oh, I was like, what the heck is that? I was so confused. All right. Ranks hammer, that's good. Ranks to core skill, fun. That's a good change. That's gotta go. Twin strikes. Okay. Is it loud? Okay, I'll turn it down. Is that better? Tater and Titan, welcome in. Thanks for the follow. Okay. Too loud still? Good. Okay, wait. I want to see. Okay. Okay, damage reduction. That's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Enemies are frozen and now... Well, okay, wait, I'm pretty sure that they got rid of... Barb got the biggest nerf. What do you mean by that? Okay. Alright, so then Challenging Shout no longer affects bosses since they cannot be taunted by this skill. 5P elite damage reduced from 30 to 50. 295, let's go. Okay, so Bloodletters, bonus, casting a skill applying to cast Rupture. Casting a skill applies bleeding to all enemies. Enemy has 10% chance to rupture them for 200% bleeding damage. Enemies take increase. This is a really good change. That's a good change for bleed. That's good. Arms of Ariat. Wait, which one was Ariat again? Was that weapon swapping? Oh wait, these were already there though, weren't they? They just capped Glins. Which one was area? It needed to be capped. It was pretty crazy. Area. Is this weapon swapping? Yeah, okay. So I think that was already there. I messed around with that. That was fun. Regain. I don't know if there were any changes that came with the Barbarian. There's a bunch of issues that were fixed, but it doesn't. There's nothing in blue. Yeah, this was all pure attacks. Yeah, I think these were all there, so I don't think anything has changed. Iron Maelstrom. Iron Skin Resolve stacks were removed from swapping weapons. Doesn't look like much has changed for the Barbarian at all. From the patch notes, or from the live server, or from the public test realm to the live servers. I don't see any changes at all. Honestly, if anything, with the it's small, but with the buff to Ramaladni, it came out slightly ahead. No more freeze barb, it looks like, because I think oops. Where bosses were staggered and cannot be consistently count as being frozen effect. Okay. So there's that. They fixed the stagger part, which is good. Wait, hold on. So because it only enemies are frozen and now only applies to cold damage. I'm not too sure, Johnny. Hey, Cat. How are you today? So freeze barb looks like it's gone. I think the only class that's going to be able to use them is the Sork. I'm pretty sure. Even though it says all classes. Yeah. Okay. Things are going good. We got another 10 minutes to go. I have no idea. We have to watch the stream and find out. Okay. I'm not too sure, delivery. That was the same. Did not want to do that. Okay, so which just want to make sure this all looks the same. Yeah, it was in the notes. The Mythic rework. Hey Zachary. Fix an issue. Shit, twice. Fix an issue where brawl. Non-attacks could grant stacks of Winding, Variant of Whirlwind. Where Bash's description stated. Yep, we saw that. Fix issue where smelling is incorrect. Something on display cooldowns. There was improved ranks. Could be invulnerable. Yep, that's gone. Off the Heart of Selig, we knew that. Gone. Dead. Scorpion, thanks for the follow. Rallying cry, cost higher than intended. Yep. That's why it wasn't doing much damage. Okay, that's good. I saw an issue with the Selig thing. Thank you for the follow. How's it going? It's both. It's their changes from the PTR and the stuff that we've already seen. Raging variant from challenge does not function because Wrath of Berserker damage did not calculate correctly. That's good. Good, Shady. It's an issue. Full throttle Wrath of Berserker applied additive resistances instead of that's really good. That's in most of my builds. I think there should be Muns. Correctly overrode the damage battle mad. We got that. Ramaladi's Magnum Opus did not correctly apply its. Oh my god, no way. Bros. All of the damage that we were doing with the bros was without Magnum Opus. Summoner, Barb, meta. Oh. This Rama, Llama, Ding Dong is here. Let's go. That's amazing. Season of the Bros. No. Okay, so this is good. This was fixed, which is good. We won't be using Highlander anyway for a lot of it. But that's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real fast so I don't have to get up during the live stream. I'll be back in a second. I know. Okay. Yeah. Hi, pups. Hello, everybody. Hi. Okay. All right. All right. Oh, that sounds good. I'll take a drink. Oh, hey, Bagel. You wanna? Hi. Oh, yeah. Very stretchy. You wanna come and say hi to everybody real fast? Say good morning. This is Bagel. Oh gosh, here's Hugo. He's the big boy. Ugh. Waffle's off chewing on a bone, so I'll grab her when she comes back in. No. They're all in very good shape. It just looks like it because I was squeezing them up there, but they're all, yeah, Twitch drops are enabled. Just staying forever? Let's go. Yeah, I'm really, really careful with their diet because it's very easy for Frenchies to be overweight and it's very unhealthy for them. So I'm very, very careful with what they eat and how much they eat. Yes, Bagel's loud. The other two dogs, nice and quiet. Okay, we're gonna turn off multi-chat. Thank you. 172 gifted subs. I appreciate that. Oh wait, let me turn off this app real fast so that it doesn't start playing in the middle of the live stream. That would be real bad. Having a hype train in the middle of the live stream. Okay. All right, here we go. Yes, the live stream has Twitch drops on. All right. Let's get into it.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Diablo 4 Season of Death Awakening developer update stream. My name is Marcus Kretz. I'm a community manager here at Blizzard Entertainment. We've got a lot to get into today, but first things first, we've got Twitch drops. So you can watch for 30 minutes on any eligible channel in the Diablo 4 category on Twitch and get the Falx Infectus sword skin. So again, that's 30 minutes on any eligible Diablo 4 category on Twitch and get that Falx Infectus sword skin. So we do have a lot to get into today. We're going to be walking through everything coming with Season of Death Awakening. Something you should know is that we've got a video queued up for you. That's going to take you through everything coming with the season. And then following that, we're going to have a little developer Q&A. So be sure to drop your questions in Twitch chat. We'll round those up and then answer those towards the end of the stream. So without further ado, check out everything coming in Season of Death Awakening. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Diablo Developer Update. Today we're giving you an early look at the Season of Death Awakening. We're excited to share updates on the seasonal questline, Mythic unique system, class updates, and quality of life improvements. Let's jump right in. This season's questline follows Danica as she investigates the Ulosar, a rising death cult, and its threat to Sanctuary. The story is built around pursuit, discovery, and the sense that something dangerous is taking shape just beneath the surface. Along the way, you'll learn about the ruptures emerging across Sanctuary by collecting the stories left behind by the Ulosar. This collection will be preserved with Danica and Zarbinzet, giving players another way to piece together the story and explore the season's narrative threads. In the season of Death Awakening, the barrier between Sanctuary and Pandemonium begins to weaken. Arcane rifts known as Pandemonium ruptures tear open across the world, unleashing new monsters and creating opportunities to summon a familiar boss. You'll encounter 3 different kinds of ruptures. Standard ruptures can appear anywhere in Sanctuary, but are most plentiful in Helltides. Surging ruptures can spawn in place of local events inside Helltides and ramp up the intensity. A colossal rupture is the largest and most dangerous, found only in the World Boss Arena near Zarbinzet. To trigger a rupture, slay the cultist protecting a Death's Head idol. That ignites the ritual circle and tears the rift open. Keep it active by cutting down the enemies and sealing tears. The longer it stays open, the greater the rewards. And be ready if a rupture goblin appears. Killing it will spark another rupture on the spot. Realmwalkers are breaching into Sanctuary, drawn out by the most intense arcane forces. Surging ruptures give you a chance to summon one, while colossal ruptures guarantee a Realmwalker encounter every time. These Realmwalkers are different from before. They are no longer interested in leading you on a chase. They prefer to kill you where you stand and have a new suite of attacks to do it. Defeat a Realmwalker and a portal to the Death Toll Chamber will open. If a Surging Rupture doesn't call a Realmwalker, a furious golem called a Realmbreaker will rise instead. Realmbreakers can drop Nightmare Dungeon sigils with the Rupture Affix, which gives a second way to reach the Death Toll Chamber.
Cool.
The Death Toll Chamber is a single-room dungeon where the Ulosar perform their mysterious rituals within Pandemonium. It can be accessed either by defeating a Realmwalker or by entering a Nightmare Dungeon with the Rupture Affix and engaging with the ruptures within. Activate the Death Toll pillar in the middle of the room to initiate the challenge. To earn the best rewards, you'll have 60 seconds to expand the circle out to the edges of the room by killing the monsters that spawn. Completing this challenge rewards valuable loot, as well as superior layer keys in Torment difficulties.
Gems.
You'll need these keys to open the Corrupted Reaper's Horde. This season features an all-new boss encounter against a Corrupted Reaper from Pandemonium. The first time you encounter her will be during the season's questline. After defeating her in the quest, you can then face off against an even more challenging layer boss version that will put your skills to the test. Defeating this layer boss will be your best chance to get mythic unique items, as well as the materials you'll need to craft them in the Herodric Cube.
This season, every unique item has the potential to ascend fully empowered. This opens the door to enhanced uniques that align exactly with the way you want to play. These are acquired either as drops in the world or by being crafted through the Herodric Cube or the Jeweler. Mythic uniques come fully empowered, with each affix maxed out, including affixes from Tempers and Transfiguration. The unique affix is not only maxed, it's also significantly buffed. You'll be able to enchant one of your mythic unique space affixes at the Occultist, making it truly your own. The seasonal layer boss, the Corrupted Reaper, has a chance to drop a mythic unique directly. The mythics you already know are now classified as iconic mythics. Items like Air of Perdition and Ring of the Starless Skies aren't going anywhere, but they are changing. Iconic mythics now feature 2 fixed affixes paired with their mythic power, giving them a defined identity while opening up possibilities for specialized build customization. Advancing through the season rank awards each class a specific mythic unique as well. Additionally, both seasonal and eternal characters have a rare chance to find one whenever an ancestral unique would normally drop. You'll be able to craft mythic uniques in the Herodric Cube by converting a unique item with Pandemonium fragments. The currency needed for this is earned by progressing through the seasonal reputation board, opening resplendent caches, or defeating the seasonal lair boss. You can equip only one crafted mythic unique. However, you can equip as many naturally dropped mythic uniques as you want alongside the one that you've crafted.
For class balance, we're closely watching how the meta evolves, especially those abilities that naturally rise to the top. Our goal is to make sure that no single option overshadows the rest while enabling variety and opening the door to build expression. We want you to feel free to play the builds you enjoy without being pressured into one specific choice just because it's outperforming everything else. The Mythic Unique update plays a big role in this. With all the latest additions to systems and itemization, our goal is to make the game feel both fun and functional, giving you more ways to experiment, express your playstyle, and discover new builds that feel just as exciting as they are effective. For Barbarian, Battle Trance has been updated to grant you the Barrage variant of Frenzy for free, while Wrath of the Berserker will now grant a further multiplicative damage increase while active. No character should ever be completely unkillable, but Barbarians with Melted Heart of Selig and a high amount of resource generation came awfully close. We are reducing the passive amount of fury that Barbarians gain from taking damage. Melted Heart of Selig will still be a great defensive item, but this change gives the Demons of Sanctuary a fighting chance against tanky Barbarians. Many Druid unique items have received substantial buffs. Dolmen Stone now deals a high percent of Boulder's damage rather than a flat amount. The Basilisk now causes Petrify to massively increase the damage enemies take from you. Great Staff of the Crone, Mjolnir Ring, and Waxing Gibbous are also more potent. Companion Druid builds have been doing extremely well, but are crowding out other options for the class. We are bringing down some of their damage numbers to allow other builds to compete. For cold damage-based necromancers, we are updating the Wither Paragon node, as well as the Darkness and Scourge glyphs to also trigger from cold damage. This opens up new ways to scale their damage into the late game. We are reducing bonuses for having many stacks of overpower, such as from Red Blessing, and reducing the maximum number of stacks. We're buffing many of the other build options to help them close the gap. We're buffing a wide range of Paladin builds. Unique items like Light's Rebuke, Ward of the White Dove, and Red Sermon all have their damage increased, as have Shield Charge and the Zealot Oath. To get you into the action faster, the Judicator Oath now grants its full damage bonus immediately rather than slowly stacking up, and Heaven's Fury has a massively reduced cooldown. For rogues, Flurry and Twisting Blades are getting baseline buffs. Their associated unique items, Death Mask of Nirmatruk, and the Maestro are also more powerful. Of the many bugs we fixed this season, one improved Sky Hunter. This unique bow now properly works with imbuement skills, providing a substantial boost to the power of rapid-fire builds. For Sorceress, fire builds have been buffed for the season. The Talisman set is stronger, and several key unique items have been buffed, such as Starfall Coronet for meteor builds, and Staff of Endless Rage for fireball builds. Unstable Current's duration will now increase less per skill rank. Additionally, we are sharpening the identity of the Boundless variant. It will increase the damage of Crackling Energy, rather than all of your damage. Several of Spiritborn's Talisman sets now have increased defensive benefits. We've also increased armor from defensive options like the Gorilla Spirit Hull and Toxic Skin's Scuttlebug variant. Sepazontek and Rod of Kepaleke are iconic Spiritborn unique items, enhancing basic and core skills respectively. Both have been buffed, making them even more potent if you can find a mythic unique version of them. We are buffing some underperforming Warlock unique items, like Agrom's Schism, Rindle of Torbalos, and Thrice Woven Nightmare. Wall of Agony has also received several buffs: a lower dominance cost, higher damage reduction on the Encircle variant, and a longer duration on the Fallen Army variant.
Solo Self-Found, also known as SSF, is for players who want the pure Lone Wanderer experience, carving their own path through Sanctuary without outside assistance. It's a way to challenge yourself on your own terms, embrace the journey of true self-reliance, and level the tower playing field with SSF leaderboards. You'll designate a character as Solo Self-Found when you create your character, and after that, you're on your own. You'll find all your own gear and accomplish your own goals. You won't be able to trade with other players, join parties, or participate in group activities such as Couch Co-op or the Dark Citadel. However, as SSF, you can engage in open world content such as world bosses or Legion events with other players as normal. For group play, we are updating war plans to make it easier than ever to strategize with your friends and trusted allies. In the Season of Death Awakening, you'll be able to sync your war plans board directly with your party, letting everyone tackle the same objective together while gaining equal rewards across the board. Here's how it works. Your entire party must be in Themis. Once you've grouped up, you'll see a new option, New Plan for Party. Selecting it initiates a party-wide reroll of all war plans boards for a cost of 2 Marks of Eldraine from the player who initiates it. Once the group accepts the updated plan, the exact board is synced to every party member. War Plan's activity XP has been increased, with scaling improvements beginning at Torment 8 and higher, and the base XP of Infernal Hordes has been doubled. Helltide War Plan progress has been updated to require spending cinders, 75 in normal through Penitent, and 250 in Torment 1 and above. And to round things out, new War Plans quests have been added for both Helltide and Escalation Nightmare activities. With these changes, we've made War Plans smoother, faster, and far more collaborative, whether you're coordinating with a full party or pushing deeper into endgame challenges. This season, we're pushing even further into player-driven item customization. We aim to keep expanding the ways you can craft your gear that truly fits your build, your fantasy, and your playstyle. Here are a few new updates we have coming this season. Uniques and Mythic Uniques can now have one affix enchanted with the Occultist, allowing you to customize your item further. Unique Charms and non-ancestral uniques now support unique power reroll, opening up new paths to refine the powers you rely on. Chromatic tuning prisms can now roll all resist, adding another valuable defensive option to enhance your toughness. All skills can now be rolled on amulets using the Adept's Tuning Prism. One of your most requested changes has been added to this season. We are increasing the Obel's cap from 2,500 to 25,000. We're also increasing the gold cap to 999 billion and the gem cap to 999 million. We've added missing minimap icons to Nightmare Dungeon and Pit objects, ensuring you don't miss key features.
Okay.
We've also added missing boss trophy items for Astaroth and Bartuk. These can now be amalgamated in the Herodric Cube.
Beautiful.
And finally, Echoing Hatred keys now drop at a higher rate. The official launch of the tower is finally here. You'll earn more rewards for running the tower and pushing your rank, with rewards based on the highest rank you've reached during that week. Look at the leaderboard UI to see when the next reward window closes, and enjoy the celebratory toast when you claim your prizes. Simply reaching higher ranks earns progression milestones, and there are rank-based rewards for hitting specific ranking goals. Rewards include a Halo and a Prestige title. When a new season ends, Halo rewards and leaderboard titles from the previous season will be retired.
That's our first look at the Season of Death Awakening. We're excited for the official release and look forward to your journey. See you all in Sanctuary.
I do have some exclusive information that I'm going to release after.
Welcome to
just
the
saw a
Diablo
ton
developer
for
ton of
everybody.
stuff coming
Today
this
we're
season of
giving
Death
you an
Awakening,
early look
and
at the
who
Season
better
of Death
to get into
Awakening.
all of it with
We're
me
excited.
than a few familiar faces we brought today. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. It's great to have you. Ben,
Thank you,
starting
Kim.
with yourself, if you want to introduce yourself and let everyone know what you do at Blizzard Entertainment.
Yeah. So I'm Ben Fletcher. I'm the lead seasons designer.
Hi, I'm Charles Dunn. I'm a senior game designer working on the Final Balance team.
Hey, I'm Art Peshkov. I'm the lead systems designer.
I got to give a special shout out to Ben because he flew all the way here from Albany, but he also got delayed in Texas for a long time yesterday. So he spent a lot of time trying to get here. So we're really happy to have him.
9 hours in DFW. Good times.
Good times indeed. I know it was a few weeks ago, but we did have the PTR where everyone got to jump into the seasonal features. Pandemonium Ruptures, the return of the Realm Walkers. So, thanks to everyone who jumped into the PTR. But I know one of the things we received the most amount of feedback was on our rework to Mythic Uniques. So we do want to jump into that. And, in particular, I just want to say, Art, we did receive a lot of feedback from the players. What are some of the things they can, expect to be different from the PTR to season release?
Yeah, so before I get into talking about PTR and learnings, I kind of want to speak to our intentions a little bit. So we found that, there are many items that could be built, right? But there's a few that dominate the meta, right? Air Perdition, right? So what we really wanted to do is try and elevate all unique items to kind of a higher level of potential.
Yeah, I think that's really what I'm most interested in this season, or this update for, is that a lot of the class-specific uniques that maybe didn't get a chance to shine because they were overshadowed by mythics in the same slot. Things like you mentioned, Air of Perdition really crowded out a lot of class-specific helm items. For example, something like Starfall Coronet on the Sork really didn't see a lot of play because a lot of these mythic helms were just better. And so I'm really excited that those items are going to be able to compete with the mythics with this update.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're trying to do this in a way that strikes a good balance between giving players options to customize and really, really refine their gear, and also have the moment of drop be really, really exciting. So learnings from PTR. Obviously, the biggest thing that we want to address is the fixed affix count and identity of unique items, right? Players we heard a lot of feedback saying that unique items didn't really have an identity anymore because of so few fixed affixes. There was also a lot of randomness with crafting outcomes and trying to target specific slots. And so, yeah, we really wanted to kind of refine this loop and make Mythics better. So the first change we made is actually to all unique items, right? All unique items have 2 fixed affixes now, up from 1. And then in terms of crafting and customization for the PTR, players were able to play around with the cube and unique items. We decided that it was healthier for the game to instead allow enchanting on unique items instead of chaotic and focused reroll. So you'll be able to enchant your uniques now. And then as far as for the crafting options, for the seasonal crafting option in the cube, we've updated this to allow you to target mythic items by item slot. So if you put in a one-handed weapon, you'll get a one-handed mythic. You put in a ring, you get a ring mythic, etc.
Nice. Yeah, I know we did have a lot of feedback on that front, not being able to get the specific item type that you want. So the fact that you can now target farm a little bit easier definitely helps a ton.
Yeah.
And I know for that seasonal loop too, a big thing that you'll be doing in Season of Death Awakening is engaging in Death Toll Chambers, defeating the Realm Walkers, and we did receive some feedback on that front in terms of changing the loop a little bit. So I know Ben, you've been working on that a ton and sifting through that feedback. So what are some of the changes players should expect to see?
Yeah. So first of all, we appreciate your feedback. The thing that we heard the loudest is you don't like standing still in an ARPG. Which makes sense. We had a little too much time standing still closing tears, so we decreased the time that it takes to close the tear. We open more tears. We actually make some of the tears move around the space, so you're chasing them around. And we also gave you more reasons to explore the space. Now the chests that appear within a rupture have better rewards. We increased the glints of hope that you get, and just better drops in general from the activity. So you should be spending far less time just standing in place now. Also, we noticed the difficulty initially when we send you straight out into the world to do ruptures before you have any skills or gear equipped. It was pretty rough. You just kind of get stomped. So we chilled those out quite a bit in normal difficulties, so you can go out at the beginning of the quest line, start closing ruptures, and not just have a bad day. And then the intensity ramps up as you move into the higher difficulties.
Yeah, nice to not just get nuked right out of the gate when you're level 5 for sure. And great to hear on those changes as well. You're doing the seasonal activities so frequently, so to have that loop tightened and the rewards improved a little bit just pays dividends across the entire season that you're playing.
For sure.
And for those of you who haven't been tuned in, we do have some pretty exciting changes coming with
Yeah.
Season of Death Awakening, because we had the leaderboards in Tower that were in beta in January, and with this season we're actually fully releasing them. So if you have not been tuned in, Art, what should players maybe expect if they haven't experienced the Tower and leaderboards before?
Well, yeah, with the Towers beta over, the first thing I want to do is just give a shout out to all the players who, played, sent feedback. It was really, really invaluable in, realizing this feature. Now that the Tower is officially launched, right, players who are really competitive can push. There's a rewards track. They
Thanks,
can show
Mike.
off really, really cool
Appreciate
cosmetic
that.
stuff if they place. And if you're really into the Tower, you might be interested in Solo Self-Found. Solo Self-Found is a new game mode. It's launching with Season 14. And it's perfect for the competitive type of player.
Yeah, I'm really excited about Solo Self-Found. That's kind of my niche. I really like being competitive and like pushing the limit as much as I can, and really comparing myself against others, and not engaging with trade or parties quite as much. And so the Solo Self-Found leaderboard is going to be really the true test of the best player, the best build.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I know when we played the overview video, there's a few people who I think were not in the loop on Solo Self-Found, so I saw some very excited people, and Criminon was also very excited to see you today. Hey, Erd's here, which is awesome. And I know for competing on the leaderboards and in the Tower, you're probably going to need to be pretty in tune with your build and need to know where, whatever build you're after, where it's sitting. So who better to walk us through, what sort of class balance you might expect for this upcoming season than Charles?
Yeah, I'd like to talk a little bit about kind of the class balance philosophy that we had with the Lord of Hatred launch, kind of in last season, and what to expect going forward. So obviously with the launch of Lord of Hatred a few months back, we had massive overhauls to all of the classes, the skill trees, the items, all kinds of things. There's so many new builds and possibilities that have come out through that expansion and that update. And we think players have really only kind of scratched the surface of some of the builds that are out there and possible to make. And part of that is because some of the numeric tuning, maybe a build wasn't quite there numerically, the numbers weren't good enough. And so we really took a pass to buff up a lot of those underperforming builds that maybe didn't get a chance to go into the limelight. And on the other hand, we looked at some of the outliers that were maybe a little too high, a little too strong, and they ended up kind of making players feel like you were playing it wrong if you weren't playing these builds. You were, when something is just so much better than the other options, it kind of crowds out those other options, even though we want you to be able to play the wide variety of builds that are possible in the class. And so we really were focused on making sure that you're able to explore a bit more of the depth that the updated skill trees from Lord of Hatred really offer.
Yeah, as far as overall class balance, we believe that the game is best when there's room for everybody to kind of grow and push. And when there are these outlier builds, it kind of makes the landscape harder to evaluate for everybody else.
Yeah, and so that's really our focus this season is making sure there's a bit more parity, and then that will in turn lead to a bigger build variety of options of what you can play and kind of be competitive with every other build.
Yeah, I love it. And for anyone who's watching, we do have the patch notes that were published a little bit before the stream. So if you want to check out, any specific class changes, or we added the entire list of each inherent affix to each unique, you can go and read that to your heart's content. It's very long, so you can go and check those out there. And I know within the patch notes as well, we do have a bit of quality of life scattered throughout. However, we do kind of have a top level of some of the nicest quality of life to kind of tease out. So Ben, can you walk us through what players should expect on that front?
Yeah, so gem fragment drop rate has improved significantly in Torment 10 and above. High tier gems now return the intended higher number of fragments. Loot rewards from Helltide chests have been improved. Infernal Horde's gold chest now grants more gold. Charms now group together when sorted. The Purveyor of Curiosities in Temis has been fixed and now grants uniques when gambling. And then, obviously, most importantly, you can rename your pets.
Oh, yes.
Pretty exciting.
That's the best one.
We got any pet names
Yeah.
ready to go?
I'm definitely going to be naming my pet after my cat Nimbus, a little fluffy white and gray Siamese cat. So
That is
can't wait to have him in Sanctuary with me.
That's
Great
awesome.
name change, Charles. A couple questions from chat that I just want to hit off the top. One was someone was asking if the drop rates are going to be different in Solo Self-Found. To my knowledge, they will not be different in Solo Self-Found. Same drop rates, just different experience of who you can group up with and not. And just be you solo. And then there's someone else who asked if we would add kissing to the game. We're not going to be adding kissing to the game. However, with that does actually bring us into Q&A. So if you've been dropping your questions in Twitch chat, we've been collecting them on the side, and now we're going to walk through them with our development team. All right, so first question I think this one comes from Jedi M4. It is, are there any plans for account-wide war plans? I know this was a big one that we saw across Twitch chat as well. So,
yeah, I'll take that one. Yeah, so obviously with the season, we've made some improvements to war plans, right? We added party sync reroll, we increased the experience in later tournaments, and buffed up Infernal Horde's base XP. We hear you on the feedback for the per character war plans. We are investigating making this be per partition, which is how Paragon works, right? When you start a season, you start fresh, but any new characters you make during the season are all part of the same pool. So we are investigating that with war plans, and we'll have more to discuss later.
Nice. Yeah, I know that's a big change people have been asking for a while, so really nice to see that being worked on. Next question comes from Ruri. Will we be able to make custom war plans instead of being forced to run activities we might not be interested in?
We are looking at other ways for you to be able to customize your war plan, have some agency over your war plans playlist. Nothing specific to announce at this time, but yeah, we're looking at it.
Heck yeah. Next question from SKK1701J. Can you temper on a mythic roll greater affix or only on a max roll?
Temper on a mythic item. Right, because mythic items will always have their affixes max roll, right?
Yes.
So does that also apply to the tempers that you add on?
Yeah, so that applies to anything you do to the item. If you add a temper and it does not roll GA, the temper will be max rolled. When you enchant, all of your enchanting results are max rolled. If you add or change an affix with the cube, its value is also max rolled.
Yeah, that's really like the value of being the mythic rarity is that all of the stats on it, no matter how you get it on there, are going to be at the maximum value that they can be.
Nice. Question here from Narrator Dog, great name. At Diablo, question, are the OG Mythics, which we're now calling iconic uniques, are they receiving a nerf or are they staying the same for the season?
Yeah, I can address this. Some of them have been reduced in power level, something like Air of Perdition, which I kind of alluded to. You know, that one in particular has kind of been dominating the meta for quite a while. It was always like, yeah, Air of Perdition, best helm, it crowds out everything else. So our philosophy here is that because now they are just mythic uniques like everything else, we try to balance them at approximately the same power level as other uniques when they hit the mythic version, right? So the idea is that after the adjustments, the balance changes, something like Air of Perdition should be comparable to other helm uniques that are also at that mythic power level. So that's our philosophy. Whereas prior, mythics should have been stronger. They were rare, they were stronger, they were higher rarity. That's not the case. Now they're going to be brought down to the same power level as other uniques.
Very nice. Big Papa Plump. Since Tower and leaderboards are now officially releasing, how often will we have balance updates to the tower throughout the season? And what might the cadence be for bug fixes for the tower?
Yeah, I think this is goes back to our balance philosophy that we've discussed several times on live streams in the past. We do want to really respect the time that players invest into their builds, right? If we're going to launch the season and there may or may not be some balance issues, and we want to make sure that any adjustments we make doesn't invalidate somebody's build that they've invested a lot of time into. We'll still fix the really high critical, like, oh my gosh, you're breaking the game. But in terms of like, oh, this is maybe a little stronger than we intended, as a general philosophy, we're going to let that ride out because we know players have invested time into making that build, collecting those items, and we want to respect that.
Absolutely. Voodoo Virus Vendetta. I think this will be our last question. Can we expect to get an activity tree for the open world that doesn't involve hell tides? Maybe can we get some love for sellers?
We can definitely investigate new trees with new content. Right now, we're kind of looking at, like I said, alluding to the previous question, we're looking at ways to kind of enhance war plans as a feature itself rather than specific existing activities, but it's always a possibility.
Yeah, I definitely think the war plans tree and like those modifications that we have is definitely a ripe area for future design space. Not a lot coming in this season in particular, obviously, but it's part of the game and it's going to be for a long time, and we're really excited to see how we can expand that and improve it in the future.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, I think we actually may do a couple more questions, time permitting. Nazrath, is there any chance to be allowed to import loot filters or to add them to our account via BNet?
I don't have too much information on that. I think that would be something we can definitely look into. I know that would be a good quality of life to
to look into for a future update, for sure. Cool. Another question just related to solo self-found and the individual kind of nuances. If you're playing solo self-found, is not being able to be in a party, does that apply to the tower as well? Or is everything solo except for world events?
You're not allowed to be in a party at all, period. You can find other people running around the world. If you go to a world boss or a Legion event subzone, you'll see other players there. You can engage in doing the activity, but you cannot party, period.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for answering those questions. And thank you all for being here. I know we do have a couple notes just to close out the end of the stream, just some opening notes. So one important thing for everyone to know is that we do have a Warlock free trial that is going live with the start of the season. So if you have not yet played the Warlock, from June 30th to July 7th on BNet, Xbox, and PlayStation, you can jump in and play the Warlock and the Paladin. And this is actually coincides with the free trial for the game. So if you haven't played Diablo 4 yet, you can go in and check that out. Then beyond that, we've also got an Overwatch collab.
I have an interview that I got to do
the season. So we do have some really cool shop bundles that you can check out, and then we do have quite a robust reliquary. So if you kill elite and champion monsters in game, you'll be able to earn Eye of the Overwatch currency. And if you complete the whole free reliquary, you'll actually be able to earn that Kiriko's Fox Spirit Pet that you can see kind of in the bottom right there by completing the reliquary. So if you're a huge fan of Overwatch, huge fan of Diablo, go in and check that out between the shop and the free reliquary. Pre-download is available for the season, so starting on June 25th at 10 a.m. PT for Battle.net, Xbox, and PlayStation, you can go and jump in and pre-download the build, as we all like to do. And then if you are very keen on the leaderboard, just a quick reminder that will go live July 2nd at 11 a.m. So it's a couple days after the season goes live, and that is July 2nd at 11 a.m. Where the leaderboard goes live for you to try and hunt down those coveted seasonal halos. When the season goes live, we will also have a Twitch drop for you. This is called the Final Headache Mace Cosmetics. You'll be able to watch any eligible channel on the Diablo 4 category on Twitch for 2 hours to receive this Final Headache Mace Cosmetic on June 30th. And now, as we wrap up the stream, I just want to give a huge thank you to the devs for being here today, Ben for traveling and getting stuck in Texas for 9 hours. We do appreciate it. Thank you to everyone at home for tuning in and checking out Season 14. It's awesome that you guys are still here. And thank you to the production crew for all the help, to Filthy Rich and everyone for all the work that goes into these streams. So don't forget, Season of Death Awakening goes live on June 30th, and we'll see you all in Sanctuary. Take care.
Log in.
All right, thank you, everybody. I have let me just pause this. I got to do an exclusive interview with Art that I'm about to post right now, and I wanted to watch it with everybody. And it'll answer some more questions that people had. Some of it is going to be repeat information, but we'll get to put it on, and we can watch this together, and then because let's see, let me go back to and then let me also grab this art notes. So we'll put that on. Barbarian wasn't changed at all from the PTR. So Barbarian's still strong. So no need to worry about the Barbarian. Thank you for the follow. Oh my goodness. Wow, welcome in, everybody. That is a massive raid. Hey, welcome in, everyone. That is a lot of bits. Thank you for everybody for the follow. Welcome in, raiders. Let me switch here real fast. I'll introduce myself. For everybody that's just joining, I'm Cliptus. I am the Barbarian writer for Mobalytics. I got to do an interview with Art that some of it's repeat, some of it is new information that will answer some questions that I wanted to watch So I'm actually going to watch it and play it right now if anybody wants to stick around and watch this interview. It was very fun. It was very good to sit down with Art and catch up and like ask some questions in person. So thank you, everybody. That is a ton of follows. I appreciate you all. I am very, very very happy to to get to do this. This is awesome. So I'm gonna get this video queued up, and we're gonna get to hear from Art. I'm gonna post the links for everybody, so we can see in this here. Okay, and that. All right, let's pop this on, and you guys can hang out, and we can listen to this. Maybe. Okay, here we go. Welcome, Wanderers, to the Masters of Sanctuary Clipcast. I'm your host, Cliptus. We have a special one for you. With me today is a member of the development team who got to work on Season 14. This is Art. How's the volume to the podcast?
Hey, everybody.
Why don't we start with some introductions? Tell everybody who you are, what you do, and kind of what part of Season 14 we got to hop into.
Yeah, my name is Art Peshkov. I'm the lead systems designer on Diablo 4. For Season 14 specifically, I worked on the war plans changes, I worked on the cube quality of life, some economy tuning, the Mythic seal updates,
Merlando,
and probably some other stuff that I'm forgetting at the moment.
All right, awesome. So
definitely.
I'm sure the team is really, really excited about this. Is there anything in particular that you can't wait for people to try on the live servers?
Yeah, so I'm obviously like super duper excited for people to get their hands on updated Mythic uniques. We think that it's going to like really, really change the build landscape, make a lot more items viable at the super end game. Just kind of want to see how things shake out there. I'm really excited for people to play party war plans, like just playing sync with your friends. It's awesome. Ruptures and Death Toll Chambers, which are the new seasonal activities. They're super fun, like high octane blasting. And then I'm actually one of the changes. Oh, I forgot. One of the other things that I worked on, I updated the Mythic seals for Season 14. We removed one of them that wasn't really working, and then we buffed another one. So I'm excited to see, again, kind of like what does the new build landscape look across classes with a viable Mythic seal that kind of facilitates multi-unique charm setups in the Talisman versus multi-set setups. So, yeah.
Okay, well, that sounds actually really exciting because a lot of the Mythic seals in the current season, you would get them and they wouldn't really fit into the build because the Talisman set bonuses were just so strong. So I'm very excited about that. Any teasers you can give us about that?
Well, I mean, basically, I can just tell you the change. The one Mythic seal that allowed you to equip 3 unique charms, but it had the 2 socket penalty. We just removed the penalty, so, so you can equip 3 unique charms. So you can do like a triple unique and then a 3-piece set bonus setup, or like a go for 2 and something like that. Yeah. So cool. It's interesting. Mathematically, it should come close to like really close to Seal of the Diamond Mine.
Nice.
And so yeah,
that is awesome. I'm very excited to try that out, and I'm also very excited for the war plans because I like playing with groups of people, and now being able to sync everything up, that is going to be incredibly fun for me.
Yeah, super smooth.
Yeah, I spent a week on the PTR testing. I did. Thank you for the prime subs. Builds, so I tested a lot. So I wanted to ask a couple questions around that. A huge part of Diablo has always been this hunt for a rare piece of gear. Going into Season 14, it almost feels like that philosophy was changing a little bit. What was the process for taking away the mythic rarity and making it more of like a quality instead?
Yeah, so I don't think that I would say that the philosophy isn't changing it really at all. We're just, in my opinion, we're broadening the scope of that chase.
Thank you,
right?
Lotus.
From my perspective, by turning Mythic into a quality, we're just elevating all uniques to that same level of potential, right? The team thinks it's a lot more fun and interesting when there are a lot of options of what is viable and what is best in slot than just like a few select items that like dominate entire item slots, basically regardless of what build you are playing, right?
Gotcha.
And to speak to your point on rarity, in Season 14, Mythic Uniques fill the role of seasonal power, right? So they're tuned for that purpose, and players will have increased access to Mythic Uniques from the seasonal content. When Season 14 ends, we're looking to position Mythics as a bonus rather than like a strict requirement. We generally feel that the experience of getting a Mythic feels best when it's a natty drop, right? Like,
Yeah, of course.
and
Yeah,
we feel that
definitely.
we've gotten a little bit too far away from that.
Okay.
So when the increased accessibility of farming Mythics from the seasonal content goes away, I think that the focus really returns back to actually hunting for the specifics you need for your build from various sources, since any unique can be a Mythic now.
Got it. Okay. So once we're going into season 14, we get a season mechanic with the new Reaper boss that's going to give us increased chance to get these mythics. After that, we're going to see a shift back towards the drops being our chase. Is that, if I got that right? Okay.
Yeah, like we're not getting rid of the existing blacksmith and jewel crafting options, but we think that like well, the intent is that like you're going to grind bosses and activities that drop the uniques that you're looking for in order to get them to drop as mythic, more so than relying on the like filling all of your slots with crafted mythics.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense. That's cool. I do love a drop like that for me, and I'm sure a lot of players out there, we just love when the drop hits and it's that one that you're looking for. So okay, I like that. The idea of upgrading mythics was actually really, really cool. You take any unique and you can upgrade it to that mythic quality. On the PTR, when we got to go into that testing and I got to actually start doing it, it seemed like it was a random unique. So it was inside of one category and they were pretty big. Was that intended, or is it going to be like a 1 versus 1 upgrade at any point?
So it is intended. First on the randomness, like again, we're kind of trying to get back to like drops being really, really exciting. And while I agree that the idea of upgrading a specific mythic is actually, it's super cool, right? Like
Yeah,
the fantasy is there. It'd be a super satisfying journey for an item, right? Obviously, it's super duper powerful. It'll have, if you know, we're not doing anything like this for season 14. We are going to explore this in the future, right, with the right design and the right opportunity cost. But for season 14, to touch on your point of like, it's really hard to get the mythics that I want. One of the updates that we've made based on PTR feedback is that we've updated the seasonal cube crafting recipe for mythics to be per item slot rather than per category. So when you're crafting, doing the seasonal crafting option in the cube, the results pools are much more narrow now, since you're going by slot and by like one-hander or two-hander.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, that definitely
should be much easier to target the pool of mythics that you're looking for, but still not the very, very specific one.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. It was a very, very big pool, and taking a pair of gloves and then getting a helmet out of it was definitely a challenge. So it will be like a helmet to a helmet and then gloves
helmet to
gloves.
helmet. Yeah, one-hander to one-hander, two-hander to two-hander. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, that is very cool. That's much better. And then you said that it's going to be changing, or we're going to be looking at this in season 15 plus, maybe, for eventually.
No definite timeline, but it's something that we are talking about and exploring.
Okay, that's cool. Rerolling uniques was something that a lot of people really wanted to see during season 13, since the cube has made really a big impact on the game. I have absolutely had a ton of fun learning this new changes to the cube. And this change is coming in season 14, which is very cool. We're going to be able to re-roll uniques. I would have never actually really used some of the uniques that I got to use on the PTR without having this. So I really liked that it broadened my scope for the different uniques that I did, but the concern that I had was just the massive amount of materials that we needed to use. Is there something that the team is taking into consideration that will maybe see some changes to specific material drops?
Yes to the to material drops, but first I'm going to touch on like cube and uniques in season 14. So we've been analyzing PTR feedback really heavily. we've made some changes to uniques based on that PTR feedback.
Got it.
The first big change is that we've increased the number of fixed affixes on uniques from 1 to 2. So
Okay.
every unique, mythic uniques, they're going to have 2 fixed affixes, right? And then we've decided to, instead of allowing you to use the cube to focused and chaotic reroll uniques, we've disabled that, and instead we are now allowing you to enchant unique items.
Interesting. Okay.
Right. So for us, we saw the feedback of like too much randomness, right? Like uniques kind of lost their identity. And while we're super glad that players are really liking the cube, I love the cube.
Yeah.
The cube is like a pretty high interaction system and kind of requires a lot of cognitive load. And we were kind of based on our evaluation, we decided that in order to like strike a good balance between uniques having fixed stats that like are good and align with the unique's identity, and then also the ability to optimize uniques more specifically for your build because of variable stats. And then also like we wanted to have a crafting option, but we wanted one that didn't have as much overhead as the cube, and we also didn't want to blur the identities of the 2 item types too much.
Okay.
Like, it's obviously based on the community feedback, they want more differentiation between uniques and legendaries, and so this set of changes we feel kind of like strikes a good balance between those 3 goals. So there's that. That's a big change that's coming from PTR to season 14. So to answer the second part of your question about materials, obviously, since you're not going to be using the cube to reroll your uniques, there's no cube material pressure there, since enchanting doesn't use those materials, it uses gold. For gold, we've increased gold inflow from various gold reward sources like war plans, like whispers and whisper gold rewards, the infernal hordes gold chest. There might be a few more that I can't think of.
Okay. Yep.
And then for cube materials in general, we've just increased the drop rate of refined primordial dust in the later torment tiers. So if you're doing a bunch of cube crafting, you're not going to be so bottlenecked on doing chaotic and focused rerolls anymore.
That's really good. So I did have a couple questions about the uniques.
Yes.
So we're going from 1 to 2 fixed.
Yes.
And then we can enchant. I'm assuming we can still only enchant 1 affix.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so we will always have 1 just randomized affix on all of the uniques.
Yeah. You'll have 2 randomized, and you can enchant one of them off. We're not dictating how you enchant, so like if you really want, you could enchant off a fixed affix if there's something that is actually more optimal than a fixed affix.
Okay, that actually answers one of the questions I had, because let's just take Barbarian, because I dabble in the Barbarian a little bit here and there. During the season, you were trying to find a weapon that didn't have max life. So if we found a Ramalades with max life on it, but every other stat was perfect, we could go to the enchanter and take off max life then.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. That is awesome, because that'll help too with weapon damage for the Barbarian, because you have so many different weapons, you don't need weapon damage on all of them. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so those are some pretty good changes to the uniques that are coming. And then we mentioned the Infernal Horde. I don't know if you have an answer to this, but is all of the rewards for the Infernal Horde going to get some juice?
I want to say generally yes. I know for a fact we buffed the materials chest, we buffed the gold chest, and then we also buffed the talisman chest that you get from the war plans nodes. And we also buffed so this isn't very well communicated, but when you do a war plans node and it has a reward, right? Like whatever. All those rewards are actually in a way like scaled to the length of the activity. So you're actually like, if you get a gold node on Infernal Hordes, it's more gold than doing a gold node on a pit or a layer boss or something like that. And we also increased basically the scaling of how much of a scaler doing Infernal Hordes has on your war plans output as well. So we did generally juice up Infernal Hordes from the reward perspective, and we also just doubled the base activity XP of it because it's such a long form activity. So you get 50 XP activity XP base instead of 25.
Okay, that's really good. I know that the Infernal Hordes for people are either I don't like it or I really love it, which I'm on the side of I really love it.
Yeah.
I just love going into the Infernal Hordes and blasting. So seeing some buffs and some changes to that is actually incredibly exciting.
Yeah. I think you're right in that, like, people are either kind of like I absolutely love this mode, or like it just takes too long. We're definitely aware of the fact that it's a long form activity, and we try to account for activities that take a long time in war plans and other reward systems. We just kind of undershot it for X2 launch.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, that's just part of the adjusting period. So I'm pretty excited to see that getting some buffs. During the podcast about this time, I normally like to ask people that are here to give us just a random fact about themselves that nobody listening would know. And I'm sure there's probably a lot out there because I'm not too sure how much you're in the spotlight. So is there a fun random fact that you would like to share with everybody about yourself?
I don't know. So I've been making video games for a long time, a little over 20 years. And about, I don't know, the halfway point, I was like this close to making a complete career pivot to go be a music producer. But
oh, wow.
I decided to keep going.
Okay.
Here I am.
What kind of music was it?
Electronic music.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Okay. What made you stay?
Well, I mean, I love making video games, and honestly, just the opportunity to work on a different game than the one I was working on popped up, and it was awesome. So,
okay, well, that's cool. Thank you for sharing. This is always my favorite part of the podcast. So, let's go back to the material topic for season 13. There were a lot of players that were hitting caps like iron chunks that were kind of littering the floor with nothing to spend them on. Will we see any changes to that in season 14?
Yeah, absolutely. We made a few post-PTR improvements to salvaging and crafting materials. Firstly, we split off the Veiled Crystal upgrade into 2 recipes, one for rawhide and one for iron chunks, since the inflows of these tend to be like wildly imbalanced. And then we also added another recipe to the Alchemist for you to upgrade baleful fragments into Forgotten Souls. So now, like, the entirety of the salvage economy is like is a full kind of loop. There's no like drop-offs anymore. Other crafting material changes we made. We've improved gem conversion recipes from the Alchemist. Right now, each gem conversion recipe requires 3 different gem types, and a lot of times, like, they require each other. So like I need to make like diamonds, but they also require the gems that I need for my core stat and my weapon, and like I can't actually use this. So we try to make that better. The gem conversion recipes now only take 2 types of gems each. And we kind of shuffled around which ones are being required a bit to really just try to make it easier to convert the gem types that you're not using into the ones that you actually are using. We also tuned up sources of gems just in general in later torments and this should just really overall help like tighten up the gem loop. So like, you know, Herodric and Flawless Gems, they're intended to be a long tail grind, but players should now have a much more straightforward path to getting them rather than spamming Sears or S 10,000 times because the boss there has unintended guaranteed gem drops. Oops.
Got it. Okay. I had a feeling it was kind of unintended. I saw it in another dungeon, so I wasn't sure if we were meant to be farming that or not meant to be farming that, but I guess that answers that.
Definitely not. Yeah. We want you to get gems from just like generally killing stuff, and then from the things that specifically reward you gems, right?
Okay. So we should see more gem fragments dropping from all sources then?
You should see more fragments from drops, and you should see significantly more from like from war plans, from Infernal Hordes chest, I think from what other reward sources of gems that we have, basically across the board. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure that a lot of people will love to get out of Seer Reach jail.
Yeah. I hate it.
I can imagine.
I hate creating prisons that players are just trapped in eternally.
Yeah.
It's never our intent.
Oh, I'm sure it's not. But at least people did have a place where they could go and farm them during the season. So that's good. Did the requirements at all to craft change at all? The numbers are still the same?
No, we haven't changed any of the numbers to craft. Again, like the Heraldric and especially the Flawless, they're meant to be for people who are like want to put in a lot of time into a season.
Makes sense.
It's really not something we balance around people having at all. So
yeah, that makes sense. I've only got myself one of them during the season, so it is definitely a grind. But I do think that that's necessary because there are people that do want to put in a lot of time and they really want to grind for things. So having those chases, I think that's a necessary for the game. I like that. On the topic of re-rolling, almost every one of my uniques during testing had 0 greater affixes. Not because I didn't find them that way, but because I had to re-roll them in the cube and the cube erased all the GAs. Now, we did talk a little bit about that being gone, so we're not going to have to re-roll anything in the cube. Is that going to be the same thing for enchanting? So is enchanting going to that, or are we looking at a way to maybe lock some greater affixes?
Yeah, so in regards to the unique change we talked about, we increased the number of fixed affixes from 1 to 2. This like raises the floor in a way, since like the natural affixes are more reliably good and are less likely to need to be rolled off in case that they do roll GA. But as far as like crafting and GAs, I mentioned before that like we think that like the moment of drop is like a sacred thing, and like the more we can oomph that up in any way possible, the better. And kind of following this philosophy, we really want the best potential items to come naturally from drops. So we're very, very deliberate and careful with the rules of crafting and GAs. So the fact that like enchanting an affix will remove the if you enchant a GA affix, it is replaced. The replaced affix is not enchanted, and the fact that when you replace affixes with a cube, they are not GA. That's very, very intentional. I think the extent of what we are going to allow right now is the current lack of interaction between cube affix rerolling and enchanted affixes, right? For legendary or rare items, you can kind of lock one in, and that's kind of all that we're going to allow right now.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And while I was playing, I was doing an Undercity run, and I got to the end, and I killed the boss, and this mystery material dropped. I picked it up and I couldn't find it in my inventory, but it's been rumored that it might be adding greater affixes. Can you talk about that at all?
It's just a bug.
Just a bug.
Okay. We have some extra cube materials that got made when we were making Lord of Hatred that we ended up not using, and this one somehow just like dropped during PTR.
Got it. Okay. Everybody got very excited, but also very confused about it. So. Okay.
We, not speaking to this specific material, I mean, there will be more cube stuff in the future, so you can expect more materials probably, since we like that cube materials are generally 1-to-1 in terms of like the material is used for a specific function. But as far as the one that creeped up on PTR, no, that was just a bug.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. And then on that topic, are we going to see increased amount of like how much you can hold of everything? So I know that I think that there were people that were having too many materials like stacks, and they were just dropping some of them at some point for the cube. Are we going to see increases to that?
We did increase the stack, the currency caps for a bunch of things.
Okay.
Like gold, opals, gems, I think a couple of other things. I don't think we increased the cap for any of the cube related mats, but if people are hitting caps on something, we can adjust that in the future.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right, cool. That works. And I did see the gold cap increase, and the opals cap was really nice. I got to mess around with it on the PTR. So having that 25k was definitely very nice.
Yeah. We really don't want to interrupt your flow that much. Like if you're doing, anything that drops a bunch of opals, like having to go back to town several times during mid-run is just not cool. So
yeah. No, I completely understand. So that was very, very welcomed. I wanted to talk a little bit about difficulty scaling. After you get your characters online and your endgame builds, your next progression is going to be going into the tower, going into the pits. As the difficulty started to scale up, it seemed that no matter what I did, it was almost impossible to stay alive for an entire run. Will there be any adjustments made to either defenses or monster damage?
So defenses and monster damage and kind of like the overall balance and how far every class and even archetypes are like pushing into the pit and tower every season is something that we're constantly looking at.
Yeah.
Always. As far as adjustments to any specific adjustments in season 14, we think that like a large part of what is happening is that there are a few elite affixes that are kind of really dominating the landscape. We're looking to tune down these extreme outliers, really. And we're, like I said, we're constantly keeping our eyes to player defenses overall. But I think one thing that I'd like to call out is like we've received like a ton of feedback over the years that nobody likes HP sponge enemies, right? Like nobody just likes sitting there like holding their whatever damage skill down for 15 minutes and like I hope I have enough DPS to clear this tier. So it's not fun. So philosophically, like we want lethality to increase as you go up in difficulty, right? Not only is this healthier for the game, like it also makes investment in defensive skills valuable, and we want defensive skills to continue to be valuable if you're pushing into higher and higher difficulty. Like we don't want there to be just a complete drop off in like, yeah, I've completely solved defenses, and I just don't care anymore, right?
Yeah, I do like a good balance between like having to take a defensive node and make a decision. Do I want to stay alive or do I want to push this to the brink and see if I can survive a run and clear? I do like having the option to take that chance. I just want, the reason I was asking is because, and I only had limited resources on the PTR in terms of Paragon because I was only about 200, but we took all of the defensive nodes that I could. So I guess we're going to have to, going into the season, and then as you guys adjust the scaling, we're going to have to really decide how high we want to push or how much we want to die.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I do like the change. I'm glad that everybody's at least looking at the way that defenses are kind of pushed. So that's good. Kind of on this.
Again,
oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. And again, we're constantly looking at this, and we will continue to make adjustments. We don't want there to be like, we don't want the damage output of monsters to be so high that investing in defenses does not feel valuable because it's not actually doing anything, right?
Yeah. Yep. Oh, that makes sense. Kind of on the same topic of this, a common theme that comes up is player effects. They're big, they're flashy, and honestly, personally, I absolutely love that. I love big, gigantic explosions all over the place. But a lot of players have been asking if there are any plans to have ways to kind of turn these down. Is that something that's also being looked at?
Yeah, this is also something that we're like always constantly looking at. Our goals here is we want visually exciting skills, right, that look cool, but we want to maintain a readable combat environment, like where you, the player, can react to things that are happening and like incoming threats and stuff like that. For season 14, I know that the VFX team took a look at warlock skills and did a pass on a lot of them because there was some warlock skills that were making combat really hard to read, and then we also even further tuned down their visibility when a caster is not you, right?
Oh, okay.
There was some other, I think, changes to the reduced strobing option when lots of like effects are flashing. Like they tuned down a bunch of strobing on it, so it should help with the readability in the most egregious cases that were kind of called out in season 13. Again, trying to make readable combat environment, but keep the skills visually exciting. And we're going to keep monitoring feedback. If we're not hitting those goals, like please keep sending feedback.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm sure.
And with the specific callouts help too. So.
Okay. And that feedback, best place, I've been telling people this during videos and during public test round, is going to the forums and then leaving feedback there.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, so if everybody listening, if you have feedback, Diablo4.com, head right over to the forums. You can leave all of the feedback that you need. And I promise you, everybody has been listening. We've already seen a lot of changes. Obviously, even in this short amount of time, we've heard some really great changes. We have a question that I've been asking everybody in every episode towards the very end. BlizzCon is coming up. I'm pretty excited about it. It's been, God, I think I went in 2012 was the last time I went to BlizzCon, maybe. It's been a long time, and this is a different capacity for me. Are you excited about BlizzCon?
I am super excited about BlizzCon. I think there's going to be a lot of cool stuff. I'm excited for what Diablo is going to announce or talk about. Rather, actually, I should say talk about.
So I've been asking everybody this,
back.
what the theory is, because obviously during the Diablo 30, we had the teaser at the end that something big is coming. Is there any teasers that you can share with anybody?
No.
Nothing. Okay. All right. Well, we're all going to have to wait and see what happens. For season 14, what are you planning on starting with? Are you going to be hopping in with everybody?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna log in. I actually have not given any thought to what I'm gonna play. I usually kind of just like look at my like list of characters and like what have I played, like what is the character that I played like the longest ago, right? Like,
okay.
If the last time I played a druid was like 5 seasons ago or 6 seasons ago, maybe I'll play a druid or something like that. That's kind of usually what I base my decision on.
Yeah, that's awesome. I always start Barbarian myself, and then after that, towards the end of the season, once I have some time, then I do the exact same thing. Whatever I've played the longest ago, that's what I hop back into. So I'm pretty excited for the launch of the season. So anything that you want to leave anybody with before we hop out for today?
Yeah, super excited for season 14, and just keep looking for us to drop you guys news in the future. We've got a bunch of exciting stuff we're working on. I don't want to spoil too much, but
of
cool
course.
itemization stuff, more stuff for Warplan and talismans and cube, all that good stuff in the future.
All right. Well, I'm very excited about it. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us today and listening. We'll catch you all on the next episode of the Masters Sanctuary podcast.
See ya.
Oh, yep. I'm muted. Got it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yep. So that was it. Thank you, everybody, for watching that. That was great. I'm pretty excited. Yeah, I had muted it so I didn't actually accidentally make a noise while it was on. They already answered war plans. So, yeah, thank you. That was fun. So they answered a lot of questions there. We're hey Lo, hey Alex. Thank you. It's been fun to learn how to interview people for the first times. There's a lot of different. Most of Diablo 4 is played pretty close. There are some range classes, but most of it's played pretty close. Flamin, thank you for the follow. Necro, thank you everybody for all the Prime subs and for all of the follows today. That was very awesome to see. So I did see a little bit of feedback for people asking about the Rogue, that they made some really great changes. I saw some Rogue experts that were very, very happy with the changes that came out of it. So, we'll get to see exactly what it feels like when we go into season 14. I'm very excited. I played a lot on the test realm, and I got to mess around a ton with the uniques. So they did come to a good compromise in between people wanting fixed affixes versus random affixes. We'll really get to see what we get out of the season. But in terms of no, all of the bugs have been fixed. All of the bugs have been fixed. There was a whole long list in the notes But in terms of build variety, everybody always says, hey, well, why can't we just bring up all of the lower classes? All of the lower builds and all of that. These were all of the Barbarian builds that I got to test on the public test realm. Let me move my face out of the way. I got to test 14 different builds. I got to use, I now had the ability to use uniques that I would have never had. I would have never been able to use the uniques because they just didn't fit with the fixed affixes. But the unique powers on them, which is what makes the unique, I was able to use. So this is going to change just a little bit. This will probably be like 135. And these were all, this was actually pit tiers. This might still be close to 140, but the ring changed. So that's only going to affect cold builds now, which makes a lot of sense for the ring itself. But these were all of the clears that I got to do without high Paragon level, with no greater affixes. I didn't even have perfect affixes. So the change that they made to the uniques will still allow you to use whatever unique you want to use. So it means that the build variety is actually going to be much better now. So we will now get 2 fixed affixes, but those fixed affixes can be re-rolled, so you're not stuck with them. For example, the Ramaladni was given maximum resources, which was amazing. That was really awesome. So that, but then it's also given weapon damage, which you do not need. So you can now remove that weapon damage at the enchanter. The grandfather doesn't have any max life on it. It has weapon damage and critical strike chance. There was no whirlwind talisman. Nothing specifically for whirlwind. They changed blood letters and they buffed it. But there was nothing for whirlwind in there that changed. We have the patch notes here. There was no change to Crucible. Not anymore. No, here, hold on, where is it? That's not the one. Let's go up. Oh, the damage reduction. Oh yeah, that's right here. So here it is. Affix 1, weapon damage, critical strike chance. Those are the changes to the grandfather. That's damage reduction was reduced. Oh, the final bonus. Okay, I got you. Yeah, it's a small one though. Because you still gain the 200%. So they went from 30 down to 10, but you still get the 200%. So it's not bad. It's not bad. No, it's going to be very fun. You can reroll any affix on any unique at all, but you can only reroll one. Any of them. So whichever one you want and that you don't want, you just reroll one. They increase gold drops, so that'll help offset some of the costs for rerolling. But overall, changes seem to be pretty good. I'm not sure about the Paladin. No, the video didn't freeze. I was just reading chat. Well, not much change to Steel Grasp, the build that I was running for Steel Grasp, so it'll probably be somewhere around. It was a little bit lower than just straight Whirlwind because you had to swap a little bit, but it wasn't much. I cleared 130 with it. It'll probably go a little bit higher than that. Barb was still very tanky on the PTR, even without the immortality from Selig. We still use Selig. I'm not sure if they're going to re-add the cap. I forgot to ask that during the interview, True. They made some really good changes to defenses for the Spiritborn and some buffs to some of their strongest uniques, so I think Spiritborn is probably going to be pretty good. Yeah, so I played Selig in every single build that I played on the PTR. And every single build except for Ancients, which will probably be changing, because they made some really great changes to that as well. I'm very excited about that one. That is a huge, huge buff. Probably making Ancients the strongest build in Season 14, is what I'm going to guess. Because that is massive. Wait, what Soul? No, season... Oh, I thought you were talking about Spiritborn. Season 14 is going to be super fun. Yeah, they nerfed the dash, but they also made some really good changes. And Immortalize, I was talking to him about it. Barbarians are going to be really strong. They made a really great change to Ancients. Here, let's check this out. Fix an issue where the Ramalama Ding Dong Magnum Opus did not correctly apply its bonus to ancient skills. No, you have a 24 hours to earn the sword. We're gonna hit even harder. Much harder. Much harder. So, just imagine having your ancient build that you had right now. Minus, this is basically going to take the place of Limitless Rage, is basically what happened. Yeah, Barbarian's gonna be strong. Barbarian's gonna be strong. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. So, yeah. I'm gonna be starting with Whirlwind. Whirlwind is gonna be very strong. And it's going to be easy to put together. So I already did a bunch of level testing. I posted a bunch of videos on it. I've been updating planners. I'll have 14 endgame guides ready on Mobalytics, and I'll have 4 leveling guides ready before the season starts. So those will all be ready. I will be on Whirlwind to start because I'm pretty excited about it. It's still going to be really strong, really chill. You're going to hop in. It'll be fast. Yeah, me too, Flamin. I'm very excited about it. And Emphs, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. I'll definitely go with the speed version for Barbarians after seeing the patch notes. Yeah. I'm guessing these unique changes are in addition to the previous changes. A lot of the notes that you're going to see are still the same. Some of them are going to be some of them will be changed, some of them will be... they didn't mention Hellbent Commander. I don't know if that's changing. Hellbent Commander damage reduced a little bit. No, they didn't mention that at all. Void, thanks for the follow. What is it? Aris? I'm going to say Ari, thank you for the follow. Quentin, thanks for the follow also. Thanks for the review, as always. Yeah, no problem, Gino. All right, yeah. I mean, we're going to do a lot of system guides, and we're going to do a lot of Barbarian guides. Rob, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, Bash was surprising. Bash was immediately doing trillions of damage, which was pretty cool. I'm not sure, Drew, but Immortalize is probably cooking some very fun builds right now. Jug Z, welcome in. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, no problem, Possum. That's awesome. Very nice. Lunatic spam is going to be fun. Probably true. Shankin, thank you for the follow. Also, welcome in. Just want to say both me and my dad play and love to see your videos. Ah, that's awesome. Thank you, Sean. Tom, welcome in. Thanks for the follow. I already talked about. I did an interview with that, with Art, and they touched on that. The Warlock, they took a pass at the skills, and they did a lot of VFX work, specifically Warlock too. So, Matt, Mark, welcome in. Thanks for that. So, overall, it looks like some really, really good changes going into the season. I'm pretty excited to get in and try out the changes that they made to the seasonal mechanic, because I really liked doing the seasonal mechanic. Thank you for the Prime sub. That was very fun. So they're gonna make it a little more streamlined, which I'm down for. A lot of changes for the Rogue. I don't know specifics on it because I haven't really got to see it, but Immortal builds got nerfed. Sela got nerfed a little bit, but it's still usable. They didn't nerf it into oblivion like everybody is making it out to be. I played Selig in every build that I played. Except for Bros, which we're now probably going to actually go Bros with Selig. It was still very tanky. I did die a couple times to some specific affixes that would pop up, but they did say that they made a pass at some of those. I don't know. I've been asking everybody what they're going to announce. They talked about it during the Diablo 30, and every episode of the podcast, I've been asking what people think. And there's so many theories out there. It's pretty crazy. Ugh. Yeah, you just set it up wrong, Werner. You have to remove all max life. I put a whole bunch of warnings in the planner because if you set it up wrong, you die. But if you hit all the breakpoints, then you basically never die. So, but in the interview, they did say that they were looking at defenses and they were looking at some of the outlier affixes from elites that were really, really strong. This was one of the builds that I really enjoyed from the test realm that we haven't played in a couple seasons, I think. And this was a Selig build. We're going to find out when we get into the season and see if they made any other changes to Transfiguration. We'll find out. Yeah, so the whole boss thing is very interesting. It's very interesting. They did try at one point, ouch, to change bosses to basically do that. Because the boss fight, I don't know if anybody, well, boss fights in the pits are kind of static, but all of the lair bosses actually have really fun fights with a lot of really fun mechanics to do. Thank you for the follow, Gun. But they tried to make it, thank you, Dim, I appreciate that. They tried to make it so that you would actually have to interact with the boss fights, and people absolutely hated it. It was very funny to see. Like they made an attempt to make it so that like you would have to interact with the bosses, you would have to do the mechanics, you have to fight, and people lost their mind. Hey Joel, how's it going today? Thank you for the Prime sub. I will probably not be doing any Warlock builds early on. I do want to try and get a chance to play it. That is Andariel, nice. Thank you, DJ, for the follow. Object, thank you also. So, yeah, so that was the compromise. They actually made it so you couldn't break the phases. People freaked out. Then they made it so that you can break the phases. Really good compromise. No, leveling won't change. Leveling is going to be exactly the same. So the videos that I posted were good. Dim, Ouchmoose, thank you also for the follows. Appreciate that. Hey, Zan. I'm actually excited. There was like a small nerf to one of the charms that somebody pointed out. The charm sets where we lost 20%. But Ramalodnes is now coming to your Barbarians. Super exciting. I make a bunch of guides on just building classes in general. So I have a whole bunch of those. And they will apply to Season 14. I have been so far behind on the Barb stuff that I haven't got to look around at any of the other classes. My tier list that I put together for Mobalytics was reduced significantly because of the changes to the skill tree, and building planners takes a long time in testing. So this was all I got to do in Season 13. So I will have 14 builds to round out this tier list when we go into Season 14. So this will be better. But I haven't got to look at any other classes because I didn't even get to finish the Barb stuff. No changes to Selig. Selig's still usable, but we get Ramalama Ding Dong for Ancients now. That is a big, big change. I'm guessing that adding Ramalodnes in could almost put it on par with Season 13. We're losing a lot of the damage from Limited Rage. So that was average 450. The Barbarians now get to use the Ramalama Ding Dong. So it wasn't affecting ancient damage. Ramalodnes was not affecting ancients at all. Now they made a change to do that. Yeah, but you can re-roll fixed affixes, so you just re-roll Endurance Faith, max life off of it. That's perfectly fine. All of the fixed affixes can be re-rolled, so it's perfectly fine. Bro builds are gonna go crazy. Yep. Brad, welcome in. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, we're losing some damage. But the Barbarian was still like the strongest class coming out of the public test realm. So so losing a little bit of damage is okay. It'll bring everybody closer to having a nice even playing field. No, it's not going to cost an insane amount of resource. It'll be the same, just like re-rolling any other item. Was around the gear that actually makes it easier than Season 13. Perfect. What did you do as a job? Or you could... I was in retail management for about 21 years up until February. And then February is when I decided to quit my job and just do content. I don't think that they changed I didn't see anything like that. Yes, exactly, Beats. I do like that too. Made this build for Whirlwind Barb. What do you think? I don't have any links enabled in chat, Vang. Which aspect are you trying to get? Congrats on getting out of retail. Thank you. Yeah. I actually really didn't mind it too much, Possum. I learned a lot. It helped with, because I was in management for a long time and my focus was training. So the conversion to training in retail to creating how-to videos actually was really helpful. Late 20s, no way. No, Shin. I am Shine, sorry, Shine. I am a little bit older than that. A couple more years. Couple more tens of years. Hey, Charmed. Doing good? I had 100% uptime on vulnerable damage for enemies on the Barbarian. It's all fixed. Yeah, Gino. So I did all of the builds, all the content, grinding, all of everything for years now that I've been posting on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, all of that. I did well working a full-time job in retail management. Before times, exactly. Yeah, you got it. So I had 100% uptime on shouts with the builds that I was running. So with 100% uptime on shouts, you can use Warcry to make enemies vulnerable. If you don't do that, you just use Accursed Touch. They talked about that a little bit, Rod. Not coming this season, but they are looking at ways of customizing war plans. No, so I know that I know a lot of people really weren't super stoked on the changes to uniques. But I'm telling you, without the changes that they made, I would not have a list like this with these clears. These all would be much lower. The example that I used last night, let me show you. We don't have any of the other ones, but the example that I used last night was this. Shard of Varathiel. Shard of Varathiel, basic skill build, is a must. You can't run a basic skill build without this. It gives you a huge increase to your damage of basic skills. Before they made uniques random, and where you get different affixes on them, this had 4 affixes on it that were absolutely useless. They did 0 for your build. You got a little bit of strength, which you can get you so much strength in your characters that didn't really matter. It had a tiny bit of additive damage, which before the additive damage was so plentiful that it made no difference. And the stats just did not give you anything. But you still used it for the power, because the power is so strong, which is what makes a unique, for the most part, unique is the power on it. So I was able to use this with 4 affixes that enhance the damage to my build. So the changes allowed me to use a ton of different uniques that I would have never used, or gave me 4 affixes that would have been not viable for my build. Yeah, I have a whole guide on how to set up, let me see. On how to set up loot filters. I have 2 different guides, actually. One, okay, we have filter update, console solution, and then I also have another one that's a little further down. So it allowed me to open up a ton of customizable options for it. I could use unique powers that I would have never got to use. I don't know about leveling. I didn't have enough time I wanted to get as much endgame testing as I could for builds so I could finish my tier list, so I didn't really get to know. I don't know what the core stat is going to show. I don't know what it's going to be, but everything is just unique quality now. So they're all just the same. Selig was still used. Yes, Selig is still good. Yep, final notes are out. No, it is a world boss. The colossal boss is a world boss. You just have to go and it has a spawn timer. So it's exactly the same as a world boss. Season is the 30th. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. That's just all dominate glyphs, Tom. The dominate glyph is used for Barbarian also. It's the same change. Yeah, sounds good, bot. Not everybody's going to enjoy it, but I had a ton of fun playing with it. It was very, very fun. AW, welcome in. Thank you for the follow also. It's like Asmodan, except I don't think you can force the summon. I had to wait for the timer. I believe it's just a world boss now. I'm not 100% on that, so don't quote me. But I only got to do it once. I think Tad, welcome in. Thank you for that. No, on the 30th. This was the Realm Walker event that I did. I was by myself because there wasn't many people that were out doing it. But when you're in a party, or when you have a lot of people at the world boss, this will be very fun because you get to interact with everybody else and everybody gets to go do their own. So you just spread out the rings until it reaches max. So if everybody's working together, which is kind of how a world boss should be, everybody shows up and does it. I just play whatever I haven't played in the longest amount of time. I've played all the classes, and I used to play every single one of them every single season. But since I started writing for Mobalytics, I've been doing a lot more with the Barbarian. Yeah, they did talk about a couple more overworld options for war plans that came up in a question, so that's being thought of. No, I'm not going to try solo self-found. I have no interest in it. Yes, Rogue has been fixed. Yeah, you won't have to do it again next season, Diablo Girl. So when I got onto, so there are buffs coming to the classes. A lot of them you just don't see. But they're coming in the form of the new Mythic quality gear. There was a lot that was done to gems. I had an interview with Art, and he went over all of it. But it'll be a lot easier to get your Mythic or your gems done. Not just specifically focusing on one thing like Seer's Reach either. So. That's correct, Warlord. The feedback that people were giving was way too much RNG with the cube. So they removed that, put 2 fixed affixes, and then you can reroll any affix, period. Oh, thank you for watching it, Rama. Oh, weird dice. Interesting. Yeah, they increased the drop rate for Echoing Hatred also. So we'll get to see more of those. Yeah, scores and Rama will be better. Yeah, it will be. Full campaign solo. My internet sucks too much for party play. Ah, that's a bummer. We may still have to. They are nerfing gem strength a little bit. So some of the damage multipliers may be better because they're separate multipliers from gem strength. So we might see some changes coming out of that as well. Yeah, I still ran selling in all of my builds on the PTR. So now you don't have to worry about max life. You can just re-roll it. They will still be a grind. They're meant to be a grind, but they made it a lot easier to get gems from all sources. And they also made the conversion rate a lot better. So instead of converting a gem type that you probably need, so you're taking away from one to make another, they narrowed it down so that you probably won't be taking gem fragments from things that you don't need, or from things that you need. So you take ones from things that you don't need. It's still a thing, but they nerfed how it works a little bit. I'm not exactly sure. I think yeah, somehow it was nerfed. I don't remember which one it was. Superior is Belial and the Reaper. I gotta get this finished before next season too. Yeah, all of them were banned, actually. Hey, Toast, welcome in. Nice interview, and I like the spreadsheet you made. Ah, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, this is my my cheat sheet for the cube. I've been writing down all of the affixes. Everybody has access to this. It tells you what drops from which cube, and I'll have to update it with the new changes that they make. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens, Rob. But they've been making some great changes like that, so I think it'll be okay. Hey, Cliff, how's it going? Thank you. Type in exclamation point sheets. You guys can bring it up. Or exclamation point doc, either one. Improvements to loot filter. You mean like for console? You don't have to loot filter. You can just copy your loot filter and paste it. You don't have to do every single one by one. Just copy and paste it into the new one. You don't have to do that. you just turn it on. Like, even when you create a new character, it's there. Ring of Ravenous. I don't know if I actually got any changes or not. Yeah, there were no changes to Ring of Ravenous. But we'll see if there were any. We'll test out the fire rend and stuff when we get in. It is a cheat sheet for all classes. It's the same thing. Like, anything that is strength will just be your main class. Warcry, these will be all of the... Adept will be any of the skills. You can just go to the enchanter and you can see. So you just go to the... Oh, wait, I think that's the wrong drop. I didn't change that one yet. Let me go change that real quick. I have a loot filter guide. Okay. Midsummer. Okay. You see, right here? This is a brand new character, level 1. Haven't done anything at all. You just go to loot filter, and then you just put down your loot filters. Whichever one you want. Barb is still very strong, yes. Hey, Andres. You don't have to create a loot filter for every single class, or every single character you create. Yeah, they said that they're going to be looking at cube functions in the future and updating them. But you never have to redo a loot filter that you've already done. Yeah, I put that in my settings video, Cliff. But even if you just go into options and then you go to gameplay and then you just go to open the loot filter, it's still going to have all of yours saved. And then to copy them, you just click on this and then you click on export and this copies it right here already. I don't know what that means, Dim. I'm not sure what that means. First experience a new season. No. You don't have to unlock mercenaries. They're there for you. You don't have to redo points one by one either. I posted a video on that too. No, I mean you have to put the points back in. They've already talked about that. They're not going to be implementing anything like that, but you don't have to put the points in one by one. You can just do this. So you can just it's very fast to put Paragon boards back together. You have to check your pathing because sometimes it's not the most efficient pathing, but you do have to. But you can just put them in very quickly. Yeah, that's a good way to level up. You can get greater affixes on them too for XP gains. Nope, as many as you can get. Yep, no problem, Dim. New season next Tuesday. Yep. Yes, it does count. True. I'm going to go run to the bathroom real fast. I'll be back in a second. Okay. I'm very excited for this season. It's going to be a good season for Barb. Going to be eating pretty good. Interesting. Interesting. Very into resting. Where are you? Where are you? $500. Wonder if it's going to work on bosses, though. Okay. Stunning enemies. Stunning enemies and increasing. I wonder if it only works on stunned enemies, though. That's going to be really good, though. Hmm. This was fun to play with. Wasn't huge damage increases, but it was fun to play with. Hey, Vaude. If they were going to, they would have done it with the expansion launch, so I don't think so. Oh, wait, I didn't actually look at the Mythic seals. Do they list it? Where were the seals at? Damn. Yeah, I remember you, boy. Did they show them anywhere? Or did you just... Those are all the unique changes. Oh, here we go. Okay, got it. Previous. -2 charm slots, but you can equip... Oh, wait, -2 charms. So, is this... Oh, yeah, yeah. But... Yeah. So... but I don't know if that's going to be enough. Because... Hey, Gra, how are you? Yeah, I don't know. They have support classes already right now, certain support skills. But okay. Yeah, and then they just completely removed this one. That's gone. Hey, Mike. Nice garden. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What I did find myself looking at a lot when I was on the PTR is like what charm to put in. because with the amount of charms that you have, I didn't really have many great options. And I guess it probably came down to just having one. But that will allow you to take, and the thing is, like, you don't want to take out for, let's go with this for example, for the frenzy build that I played. For this version, I don't want to move any of these uniques to a charm slot. Like none of these uniques I want in a charm slot. And these are all the important ones for the build. Because I'm losing 30% off of the aspect of it. So I don't want to move any of these to a charm slot. It'll allow me to run Endurance Faith and something else, but then you miss out on the 200% increase to damage. Which I don't think you're going to make up for that. Barbarian's going to be very good in the season. It's going to be probably the strongest build or the strongest class in season 14. I don't think it's gonna. I still don't know if it's gonna work too well. You know what I am bummed about though? There were no changes to the Fury set. I was really hoping to run Szechuan's Chicken charm set, but the cast speed reduction is just brutal. Yep, we'll be testing. We'll definitely be testing. It wasn't fixed on the PTR, but it should be fixed when the season goes live. Yep, Leap is going to be just fine. Yes, we treat Discord as the clan. So if you type in ! Discord, you can bring it up. We have a really active Discord server. There are thousands and thousands of people playing Diablo 4. So if you guys want to hop in, you guys are more than welcome. We started doing leveling groups. We have a little over 20 teams already put together for teams that are going to go out at the start of the season. So if you guys want to get in on that, I'm going to be making one more announcement before the season starts about it. So if you want to sign up, now's your time. Yeah, I don't know. I know that it's been an issue that they've known about, so I expect it to be fixed, Prodigy. But we'll see. We'll see. No, the Szechuan's Chicken charm set. Put, welcome in. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, I won't be doing any SSF playing. Yeah, it's going to be very good. It's going to be very fun. And the bros got a buff, which means we're going to be speed screaming all over the place. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be even stronger. I got it up and running on the PTR in Torment 12, doing a lot of damage. So adding Ramalama Ding Dong in is just going to make it even better. Oh, nice, Crip. Yeah, I posted a bunch of guides on the Cube if you haven't got to check them out. They're there. Yeah, we're gonna be fighting Reapers for the boss. All right, I am going to go eat some breakfast. I have to post some videos, and then I have to go pick up a brand new car. So I have to go. I got to drive like 4 hours to go today, so I have to go do that. Just want to thank you for the guides. Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Paragon 200 is still very low. So as you level up your Paragon, you'll get more Paragon points to build into defenses. So you'll be able to do that. Get a new Kia. So we're gonna go say hi to Immortalize. And I'm gonna be hopping on normal time tonight. So we'll be back on again for our normal stream. We're gonna do some more planners. We'll talk some changes that I'm gonna make to planners, which I actually don't think I really need to make any changes, which is amazing. So we'll talk more Barbarian. We'll talk more leveling strats for season 14. We got some already posted. If you guys haven't checked them out, make sure you do. But I am very excited to hop into this season with everybody. So it's gonna be tons of fun. But thank you all. I will catch you tonight, and I will catch you all on the flip side.